Hello, my name is Stephen Worzbinski, and this is my reflection journal number 3, or video reflection journal. And we're talking about workplace conflict. In my recent experience at my old school, I had two different principals in the time there. One was there for the first 2 years and a couple months. And she did very well with dealing with workplace conflict, and in some ways would be just re-navigating the discussion, or if there was a lot of I wouldn't say drama, but emotions being tied into it, she would set it aside and allow people to go have time to process it, um, deal with it, talk about it, and then bring it back to the table. um, she was good at bringing people together, and working individuals that were having individual conflicts and bringing them together to work through it. Um, and I mean, a lot of the strategies she used were very effectful. Effectful. The new principal that I had for the last few months of last year was the complete opposite. She played into the drama. She created more drama. There's nothing really I can take from her in regards to successful, because it devastated. Out of 28 teachers, 22 left. There just was, it became so hostile it was no longer worth it. For example, I left and went to a different school because the pay cut was worth not dealing with it. Um, so it was rough, but I think it is beneficial though for me, because I've seen both sides. I've seen when it works, how to deal with conflict versus what not to do, what definitely not to do, and that is what I have seen. So there was stuff like that. As far as the next part, how can principals as school leaders ensure communication or emotion don't create unnecessary and unproductive conversations? That I think ties right into it. It's having those conversations. It's about knowing your staff, developing those relationships, being able to read those staff members. And I'm not suggesting manipulate them, but if you know we're getting to a point where emotions are going to start running into a conversation, maybe put it on the table and say, we're going to come back to this next staff meeting or next month. Allow people to process it. Let them go home and talk about it, because sometimes, you get passionate. I mean, we're dealing with kids, and teachers especially become extremely passionate if they feel what they are doing is best for their students. And sometimes just letting it go and coming back and letting people talk about it individually is better. When you're in a staff meeting, sometimes you feel like you have to have that decision right now, and that's what brings out those emotions. So that's a great strategy to use. I think in my career, those are definitely things that I'm going to use when I'm going through being a principal. I need to be able to table stuff. I need to sometimes, yeah, of course, as a principal, I need the answer now to start driving. But if I'm not going to get a truthful answer or consensus on it's not worth bringing in the drama, the emotions. That's why you need to be able to do that. Other good things to do is build committees on stuff. If something's so bad, have a committee work on some stuff where it's well represented by all stakeholders. Let the committee work on something and then bring it back to the table for adjustments from the whole staff. Sometimes I think passion gets into there because they feel it's the leader or the principal making all the decisions. But in fact, as we've discussed in the program, that's not the best. You want all stakeholders involved at all times. And when those stakeholders are involved and they're committing stuff and building programs or making decisions, that helps take out some of that passion as well, because then it's not necessarily them fighting against you. It's them, seeing, hey, other people on the staff have developed these same ideas. Maybe I need to go with it, but for me to be comfortable with it, I'm going to add this suggestion. And that's a way to build it so that it works out better long term. This is the end of my video, and I appreciate you listening, and thank you.